Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's another blazing hot day in the Arizona desert, probably going to be 110 degrees Fahrenheit today. That's what, 43, 44 Celsius. And one last thing I'd really like to get done before I cover the Jeep up with silver tarp and call it quits for the summer, because I just not going to stand to be out here this summer, I don't think, even with the shade, is get the AC vac down, because I put a new system in it, or replaced a bunch of the components in it, and I just hooked it up and I didn't vac it down or charge it. I want to get it vac down. I want to make sure it's not leaking, and I want to charge it up. So I've got my gauges out, I've got my vacuum pump out, I've got a small pancake compressor, which I certainly hope is going to be able to do this and let me know that I'm not leaking. So let's get that hooked up and let's see if we can do this. So I've got it all hooked up. I hope it's right. I've got the high side connected, even though I don't really need the high side for this. I'm just going to keep the high side completely turned off. I'm going to make sure the low side is open, and these you tighten to open, these you tighten to close. These you tighten to close. These down here you tighten to open. I should only have to connect the air line up to here, which I did not bring out with me, and we should be vacuuming down. I'm only going to be interested in the low side needle. I want to see it come down to 30, or as close as I can get with this little compressor. I'm hoping the little compressor will do it. I'm hoping having it out here in the heat doesn't destroy it, but it's Harbor Freight, and if it does, I'll just get another one. So let me find that air hose. Okay, this little compressor drops to 0 almost immediately. I plugged it back in just long enough to get some vacuum on here and close the valve to see if the system is holding vacuum. I've also got the big compressor charging, and I've got the hose here. Yeah, 4.2 CFM at 90. No way that can do it. I'm not sure my big one can do 4.2 at 90, but I think I have my answer right here. We're not losing vacuum with the valve closed. And I disconnected high just to make sure that I wasn't, just to remove any possible leaks. My big one just charged up. Let me see what the regulator is set to. Okay, this is my big compressor. This is the old, it's not big really. It's the old Harbor Freight Central Pneumatic, 2.5 horse, 21 gallon. I believe these are 4.2 or 4.5 or something along those lines. Might even be 4.7. I'm set at 90 on the regulator. Let's see if this one can do it. All right, there we go. Big compressor is plugged in. Let's open this back up. Oh, now we're down to 0. And hopefully the compressor can maintain that. I'd like that to sit for half an hour. It is currently 12 after 11. Leave it on for about 20-30 minutes. I'll come back, I'll close the low side, and we'll see if it holds that pressure. If it does, I'm going to charge it. All right, it's only been about, what, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. My poor compressor out there in the garage, it's running so hot. I'm just going to give it a break and call that good enough. I'm going to turn my low side valve off, and I'm going to let my compressor charge back up. And we'll come back in another 15 minutes. We are pegged on 30. We'll come back in another 15 minutes. Okay, it has been 20-30 minutes or so. I don't know. I want to get in out of the heat. I don't want to be out here in the afternoon. We are still at 30 psi or 30 bar or 30 whatever of vacuum. Unfortunately, I have no way to charge it through the gauges. So I'm going to have to disconnect it and hook this little thing here up. Okay, I am all hooked up here. This is one of those resealable cans. It's the only, I thought I had 2 of these, but I could only find one. I must have used one. I am going to start it up. We're going to open that up. We're going to dump this can in, and hopefully our AC will start to work. If it doesn't, I've done something wrong. But let's find that out now. Whew, it's getting hot out here. Jeez. let's see if we can get that in the system. Got a belt chirping under here. That or bearings, one of the two. Sounds more like a belt than anything else. Can's getting cold. Up. Compressor just kicked in. Nice. Gauge is coming up. My heart leapt when I heard the AC compressor kick in, the clutch kick on. That can's going in pretty fast. That compressor hasn't run in years, so hopefully it will be okay. If not, I'll have to get another one. Let's go inside and let's look at our temperature. Let me get my thermal imaging camera fired back up. Not very cold at all. That doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Okay, I have no cool air at all. I was expecting that to be blowing cold by now. Not a thing. Wow, that's depressing. That's a shame. Oh, I am pegged. My needle is pegged. What is going on there? We're doing a lot of cycling here. Something might be plugged. Shouldn't be though. Temp low and high. I'm assuming low means cold. There's nothing blowing out of there worth talking about. Let's feel these lines. High side is hot. Low side is not cold. I'm not good. What's going on here? Do I have any flow? Well, I won't have any flow while the compressor's not running. Could that have overcharged it that little bit? Well, I'm not happy about that at all. Not happy at all. Okay, the AC clutch cycles on, but it does not blow cold, so I've got an issue somewhere I'm going to have to figure out. But I got to get out of the sun. What's it blowing when it kicks on? Huh. 107 degree air. Well, that's lovely. What is it in here normally? 120. So I've got something connected wrong. Really, it's not hard to connect things wrong in this. It's very simple. Plus it worked before. All I did was replace this, so Could the expansion valve be bad? Well, it is cycling on and off, but it's only staying on for a few seconds and it's not blowing cold. I also remember having this set so that the cooling fans run the whole time the air conditioner is turned on, and that wasn't happening either. So that could very well be why why it was cycling and not staying on, because I'm getting no airflow through the condenser. So that's a possibility too. I'm going to have to diagnose that as well, because those fans should be running when the AC is turned on, and I don't remember hearing them. I didn't watch, but I'm going to check it right now. Yeah, they're not running. See, the compressor cycled on, but my cooling fans aren't running. I'm betting that's the major part of my problem right there. I can't stay out here anymore in this heat, and I am going to have to diagnose this tomorrow. Okay, it is 8:30 in the next morning, and it is only 82 degrees out, and there's a nice little breeze out. I actually had to get a magnet to keep my instruction sheet from blowing away. So this is the instruction sheet for the Flexalite fan controller that I have in it, which is right here. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'm not sure I can get you an angle in there, but there it is here. And I'm going to show you what these are the wires that lead out to the fans and some other things. I don't remember what. And then these are marked 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. I think it only goes to 10. No, it goes to 11. So let me go back to the controls. Let me show you what these do. And this fan controller, it can do so much more than just turning the fans on when it reaches a certain temperature and turning it off when it goes below it. If that's your thing and that's all you want, you need a relay, a hot wire, and a ground and the fan, and that's all you really need, other than, you know, using your idiot light or another similar temp sensor. But this thing can do so much more than that. This will turn the fans on at 60% when it reaches the temperature you set. If the temperature continues to go up, it can then crank it up to 100. So you're not loading your system with the full power of the full load of both fans in a shock all at once. You can also adjust the temperature. There's a temperature adjustment set screw on it. It can keep the fans running for a certain period of time after you shut the engine off if it's still too hot. There's a manual on switch, a manual off switch. There is a terminal to turn it on when you turn the AC, when the AC clutch is engaged, which is the problem I'm having now. But anyway, these great big wires you saw over here, these go to battery plus and minus and fans plus and minus. The small terminals marked 5 through 11. And right now, I don't have, what don't I have? I can't remember. Keep banging the phone into that one spot. Now it's come loose on me, of course. I'm not using 5, 6, and 7. So if we come back to our instruction sheet, let me tighten that up a little bit so it doesn't keep swiveling on me. 5 is your manual off switch, and they call it for water crossing. 6 is your manual on switch, and I have not hooked up either of those. 7 is one of the 2 AC clutch trigger terminals. One is negative, one is positive, and it says connect only the positive or negative signal wire to the AC compressor, not both. So I'm not using 5, 6, or 7. 8 is the positive AC signal wire. That is the one that should be triggering it, and that's the one down here. Again, it's tough to get the phone down there. That's this one with the blue wire. Now, if I trace this blue wire back, it goes into this bundle down here. Then it goes to this, where I have a connector. I don't know if I can get it out of there so you can see it down there. It's that blue butt connector. I have 2 going into one, and it goes to the pressure switch. Now, I know the pressure switch is working, and I know this wire is good to there because the AC clutch is turning on. But am I getting that voltage here at this terminal? Now, I can think of two ways off the top of my head to test this. One is to run the engine and check for 12 volts here when the AC fan clutch engages, and the other is to unplug this and simply apply 12 volt positive wire to it. And if I check it the other way and I don't get 12 volts here, I've got a wiring problem. That's where I suspect I'm at. But before we do anything, let's unplug this. Let's put a 12 volt positive wire there, and let's see if the fans activate. If they do, then I know I've got a wiring problem, because that's the easiest thing to do right off the bat. I ran out to the garage to get a jumper cable, then I realized, hey dummy, you bought a diagnostic probe just for this kind of thing, so why not use it? So this is the Go Diag GT101. I tested and reviewed this a while back, and I have used it a few times. Works really well. It's got about 20 feet of cable on it, which is kind of annoying for working this close to the battery, but kind of good if you're having to work at the back of a bigger vehicle. Connects both positive and negative to the battery, and when I press this, I can apply battery voltage to the tip of the probe, or I can apply ground to the tip of the probe. So let's get in. It's got a light on the front too. Let's get in there. I should be able to come, if I can maneuver it in there, which I should be able to. I should be able to come right into the back of that terminal. Again, if I can maneuver the probe into it, and I should be able to apply positive to that. The fan should come on. I may have to turn the key on, and I should hear the compressor clutch click. So let's try it. Okay, I definitely hear the compressor clutch, but I got no fans running. Let's turn the key on and see. Okay, the key is now on. Let's try this again. So positive to that terminal, we should hear the clutch, and the fan should come on. There's the clutch, no fans. So I've either got some bad wiring someplace, or the fan controller's bad. The fan controller being bad would suck, but because that's all done internally. When I apply 12 volts there, those fans should run, and they do not. Huh. I don't I know of any other. The only other thing I can try putting my ground to the one above it. That should do the same thing. So let's try that. They say don't do both, but I do not have. See, I should be reading voltage there, and I am. You see that I'm reading voltage there, so I'm going to press ground, and the fan should run, and they do not. All right, so what's going on here? What is going on? So let's try the manual on. Maybe the fans aren't working. I tested them just not long ago, and I saw them working when it got hot. So let's try the manual on. So manual on, I'm looking at this here. Manual on is terminal number 5. All I should have to do is provide 12 volts to terminal number 6, and the fans should run. That should be on. I am going to apply positive to this terminal here, and the fans should run, and they do not. About the only other thing I can think of to try off the top of my head is start the engine and wait for the temperature to come up and see if it's because the temperature is too low. But the temperature of the engine should not matter, or the coolant should not matter to the AC turning on or the manual on switch running. So what's going on? That is pretty interesting. Could I have done something to the fan wiring while I was under there doing the power steering? Because, I mean, that's right where it's at. That is right exactly where it's at, right down in there. That is where my fan's wiring is connected. And I have not checked it since I was down there goofing around in that area. I think there's fan wiring over at this fan too. Yeah, there's wiring coming off of that fan. It's been a minute since I did this, and I have to admit that I don't remember it very well. This is all very frustrating. I'm going to start the engine up and warm it up until the fans come on, and then we're going to find out if the fans are even working. If the fans aren't working, now I have a problem totally different than my AC. My fans should be coming on at any moment. The top tank of the radiator is 180 degrees. Top radiator hose is, wait a minute, I got picture and a picture turned on, there we go. My top radiator hose is 190, I have a 185 degree thermostat in it. What's my gauge look like? My gauge is coming up on the halfway mark, which is, fan should be turning on. Top tank of the radiator now, I am showing close to 200. Wish I could get a better view of that lower hose. There it is right there. Lower hose is 192 and climbing, 193. Those fans should come on like right now if they're gonna. Starting to get a bad feeling about this. I don't think the fans are working. I'm up over half now, yeah. I don't think my fans are working. Fans are not working. That's not good. Top tank of the radiator is now 201. Upper hose is 203. Lower hose is 201. They are not turning on. That is not good. See what my temp gauge inside the vehicle shows. Yeah, I am now overheated, or on the way to overheated. Okay, well, I mean, so something ain't working. Okay, let's shut this thing off before it really overheats. Yeah, it never gets that high without the fans turning on. I want to test to see if I'm getting battery voltage into the fan controller, and that's the red wire here. So I am getting battery voltage into the fan controller. Battery negative is this black wire, and see if I can, and there we go. Hard to get on it, but there it is. So I'm getting negative and positive into the controller. Okay, there it is. So I'm going to have to track some of these wires down. I think I found my issue. There are three little, it's hard for me to get into, for you to see them, but it's hard for me to see as well. There's three little LEDs in here, and it shows them on the controller. It says L2, L3, L4. There's also an L1 down here someplace, but one of these is supposed to light up when the key is turned on, and it was not, and they're very dim. I mean, I had to put a blanket over my head to see it, but it was not coming on, and that is 12 volts from the key. Now, you wouldn't think 12 volts from the key would keep the fans coming on when they have wires going directly to the damn battery, but it does. That's this red wire, runs up there, runs over here, goes into a connector that I've, a spade connector that I've heat shrunk, turns into that yellow wire, runs all the way across that fender well, and goes up to a connector just before the firewall. I tested it that, first off, I tested down here with the key on, and I did not have 12 volts. I tested over there, I did have 12 volts. I tested a couple spots along the way, and I had 12 volts. I think the problem was in here. When I wiggled that connector, all of a sudden the fan started to run. So that's something I'm going to have to deal with, but maybe not on a day when it's going to be hot enough to melt stone outside. So once again, I am probing into the AC fan wire. When I provide 12 volts there, the clutch should engage. The AC, the AC clutch should engage. I've been crawling around underneath of it trying to get to the fan wiring to see if I could see something I left disconnected, because I figured it was something I did, because you know what? Usually it is something I did. Anyway, I got my probe in here. When I provide 12 volts to that, the AC clutch should engage and the fans should run. All right, here we go. Not on it yet. There we go. Here we go. And AC clutch engaged, fans running. All right. Crisis averted. Let's fire it up. Let's turn the AC on, and now let's see if the AC actually works. Wouldn't that be swell? Okay, I started it up, turned the AC on. The AC clutch is engaged. Fans are running. I'm showing far too much air in the system, but I don't care about that for right now. Let's get inside and let's see if we're blowing cold. What I do with the thermal camera. Now we'll find it here in a minute. Maybe I left it inside the Jeep. I did not leave it inside the Jeep. Sheesh, I just saw it not 30 seconds ago. What did I do with it? Okay, I found it. It was laying in the absolute best place possible on top of the exhaust manifold. Okay, so what is the temperature inside today? The temperature on the roof is 114 degrees. And we are blowing 50. Well, it just kicked out. Let me make sure it's turned all the way up. It is. I think it's turned as cold as it'll go, if I understand the switch right. I think it'd be running non-stop. There it is. It just kicked back on. Let's see what it goes down to. 70, 67, 66, 66, 64, 63, 62, 61. Can you get to 50? Oh, 59, 58. Let's speed it up a little bit. I think it kicked off again. Yeah, it's climbing up. Let me make sure that switch is doing what I think it does. I think I'm wrong. I think I had it set to minimum. Now I think it's set to maximum. There we go. Now we're going down again. 61, 60, 59. You know, it's got a lot of air in the system. It ought to be able to do a lot better than 57. But I'll tell you what, when it is 110 out, I'll take 55 degree air. 53, 51, will it drop into the 40s? 50.8, oh, it's going back up. 49, I saw 49. 48. 46 I saw, 45, 49, 47. All right, you know what? That's pretty darn cold. That can keep it bearable. Oops. That can keep it bearable in here during the summer. I don't know that I'm going to try and do any more 45, 46 degree air. That's pretty good, considering it's not even charged all the way. I think I'm going to call that good until it's time to get this thing out and drive it again once the summer temperatures go down. Anyway, thanks for watching all my bits of fun. I still got to tie some of that wiring under the hood that I cut the wire ties off of to get it tucked away. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them down below. Hit like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Talk to you later.